Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another quick video. All right, y'all, I'm back with this real quick discussion video here. Just a quick one, man, because I was actually shout out to Marcus Bell. Marcus Bell actually brought this up on my latest podcast episode where I was talking about patience and growth. And in the comment section, he just brought up the this fight here, Mackenzie Dern versus Virna Jandiroba. You know, he brought it up as a good example of growth. I think, yeah, that's what he said, right? Growth. Yeah, shout out to Marcus Bell because this was a fight where you can definitely really see growth in this from both fighters. And with that episode, I was just kind of doing that one on the fly. So I just want to go back and do this right here on the fly as well. You know, I did that episode in the car. I mean, I just did that episode like a freestyle, man. I just said, let me drop one and, you know, get what's off my mind. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the same thing with this one, man. Patience and growth, but really growth on is what I want to focus on with Mackenzie Dern and Virna Jandiroba. Because, yeah, once I go back and look at this fight myself, I could definitely see growth in both of these fighters. And the main thing I want to just bring up is the fact that where you really see growth is both fighters wanted to step out of the box. You know, everybody had their predictions on this fight. I myself had my prediction. I said, like, if Virna was to take this fight to the ground, it would favor her, and that's what she was going to do. She was going to take it to the ground and make this a grappling match. Same with Mackenzie Dern. If she landed something big, she was going to take it to the ground. You know, shoot in for a takedown and use her power, use her strength, and things of that nature. But this was a fight where from round one, Virna and Mackenzie chose to stand. You know, and it kind of threw everybody off their game. It threw me off, and, you know, like I said, MMA math and boxing math never really add up, but this was really one of those fights that just kind of threw me off and said, look at this. You know, if anything, Mackenzie would have been the fighter to keep it standing, you know, but Virna actually went in there, stepped out of her element and said, you know what, I'm going to strike this fight. You know, I'm going to move around on my feet. I'm going to stick the jab out. I'm going to throw some good volume punches, and I'm going to be in and out in this fight. I'm going to be using lateral movement. I'm going to make myself a moving target. And once you think about it, it was really necessary. This was a fight to do that in. You know, this was the fight to show growth in, because why would Virna Jandiroba want to go in there and make this a 50-50 fight when she knows that somebody like Mackenzie Dern is a fighter that could go in there and say, I can submit you just as quick as you can submit me. You know what I mean? It could be one of those fights where it would turn into a grappling match, and one little slip up, boom, you get submitted. And that could go for either fighter, because, you know, Virna, she submitted some top level fighters in grappling tournaments. So if they actually turned this into a grappling tournament, it would have just been a 50-50 fight on the ground, you know. And the thing is about boxing, MMA, you know, combat sports, is we all want to see challenges. We all want to see competition. We want to see 50-50 fights from the outside. We want to see the best fight the best. You know, we want to be on the outside and say, this fight is 50-50. I can't call the winner. But for the actual fighter, it's up to them to expose weakness, you know. And the only way you can expose weakness is by showing growth in what you feel like could be your strength at the time. You know what I mean? It could be your strength, or it could be something you feel like you are stronger in, you know. And I think that Virna Jandiroba felt like, okay, if I use my footwork and I use my volume punching, even though Mackenzie Dern has been working on her striking, I could make this fight go in my favor. And that's what Virna did. And of course, in the judges' eyes, and, you know, that type of controversy, it didn't go her way. But in our eyes, we saw some improvement. We saw some growth in Virna Jandiroba by taking that chance, right? We actually saw some growth in that. And I was impressed by it. I was very impressed by it, because I felt like she did enough to win the fight. And I feel like if she takes this approach in her next fight against certain grapplers or wrestlers, she'll see even more improvement, and maybe she'll be able to capitalize off her mistakes, you know. So even if you feel like it isn't your strongest suit, the more and more you work on it and take chances with it, you'll grow. You know, you got to start somewhere. You got to experiment. You got to have things kind of blow up in your face. Hopefully not literally, you know, if you're really like working on a science project, don't have, you know, stuff really blow up in your face. But you got to have certain things like this blow up in your face, so you can go back and say, okay, maybe if I add a little bit of this or take away a little bit of that, next time it'll come out perfect, you know. And I think that on Virna's part, this was a good example of growth. Now, when you go back and look at Mackenzie Dern, same thing with her. Like, Mackenzie is not an elite striker. She's not a B-level striker. She's not an A-level striker. And I never said that. You know, I always try to reiterate that the fact that Mackenzie Dern is taking the initiative is what I'm giving her full credit for. You know, taking those chances and taking those chances and admitting weakness. You know, she's a fighter that admits weakness by saying, I know my hands aren't good, so let me get Jason Perillo in here. Let me hit these mitts. You know, let me humble myself and really put myself to work. And then let me go in the octagon and try to test it out, you know. And she went in there, showed a good, strong jab, but she still needs to improve on her timing, still needs to improve on her head movement, still needs to open those eyes when she's throwing those big power shots. But, you know, those are some things that she's going to have to check off that list, you know. So taking the chances and, you know, growing in there, you know, she won't know that if she doesn't do any of that. So I'm glad she is taking those chances as well. But like I said, I feel like Virna Jandiroba and Mackenzie as a whole, they really did step out of the box and show some growth. Because like I said, everybody and myself felt like this was going to be a grappling tournament. We thought this was all going to be a match where they go in there and just grapple it out. But they said, no, we're going to bang it out. We're going to strike it out. And it turned into a good fight. And, you know, it was actually some good technical striking in there from both of these fighters. It wasn't just like some amateur go for broke, swinging, banging like two wrestlers that never threw strikes before, just, you know, brawling it out. You know, nah, they were actually in there setting up some nice punches, which was really impressed me. And that is a very good example of growth, you know, as fighters, you know, taking the chance of stepping out of their element and, you know, seeing what could work for them. But yeah, man, that's really all I got on this one, guys. Like I said, my closing thoughts, though, I want to see more fighters take chances like this. You know, if they feel they have it, go in there and take a chance with it. You know, another fighter like Erin Blanchfield, a fighter who's known for, you know, her wrestling, her grappling skills, you know, her BJJ. She's been kind of growing as a striker throughout her fights, as a good a fighter who can throw, you know, punches and kicks. You know, she's really starting to grow like that as well. But yeah, good example, Marcus. I want to see more fighters do this, like I said, and just make those type of improvements in their camp. You know, hopefully even Virna's team, hopefully they go back and say, all right, this is what you did right. Let's clean that up. And hopefully in her next few fights, she starts, you know, doing a good mix of her striking. And, you know, that'll help her kind of push towards being a complete fighter. But yeah, it blew my mind. It blew my mind at the time, man, because I was like, yo, what are they doing? They in this, you know, striking it out. And on top of that, it's looking good, you know. So yeah, man, yeah, closing thoughts. Growth is important. Growth is important, and part of growth is taking chances and admitting weakness, just being humble, and yeah, going in there and trying things out. You know, just go in there, humble yourself, and say, okay, let's do this. You know, let's do this time. But yeah, guys, that's all I got on this one. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think. Again, shout out Marcus Bell for bringing up this topic. It's a topic I'll revisit again and again. You know, growth is infinite. You know what I mean? As long as you have the mindset to better yourself or take chances, you'll always have growth in whatever it is. So yeah, it's something I'll come back and revisit again. Let me know, guys, what y'all thought of this fight. Were y'all impressed with the way Dern and Jandiroba chose to duke it out? Let me know, guys. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.